Welcome to the Well Body Podcast, where we redefine what it means to be a healthy, ambitious woman. I'm your host, Renee, a nutritionist, women's health coach, personal trainer, and founder of Beyond the Body. Around here, we talk about building energy from the inside out through food, movement, mindset, and living in sync with our natural rhythms. No more quick fixes, no more burnout, just evidence-based tools and empowering conversations to help you thrive in your body and your life. This is your reminder that health isn't a side hustle. It's the foundation of everything that you do. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the Well Body Podcast. I'm your host, Renee, and today's episode brings everything together. Everything that I've been speaking about over the last couple of weeks in recent episodes around gut health, blood sugar balance, creating a balanced meal with protein, carbs, fats, the importance of fiber, regulating your nervous system, the type of movement, and of course, your menstrual cycle. So this episode is designed to show you how all these pieces fit together and why they matter so much for your energy, your hormones, your metabolism, and your overall well-being. Because here's the truth. Most women are tired and fatigued because they're doing too much and because their foundations aren't being supported. When we're not supported, we're going to feel chaotic. Our energy is going to be low. We're going to be finding moments of fatigue throughout our day. And that's what the Beyond the Body method is all about. It's about rebuilding those foundations so your body can finally function the way that it was designed to. So let's begin with the big picture. If you've been feeling fatigued, low motivation, low libido, unstable moods, cravings, PMS, bloating, or like your energy just crashes mid-afternoon, you're not alone. Your body isn't working against you. It's actually communicating. It's telling you that something is out of sync, that something needs addressing. The Beyond the Body method works because it takes all of the essential pillars of women's health and brings them together. There's no fad dieting. There's no restriction. There's also no quick fixes. There's no quick promises around here because quick promises and quick fixes don't work. It's understanding how the female body actually works hormonally, metabolically, and energetically, and giving it the nourishment, the movement, and the environment that it needs to thrive, that you need to thrive. So let's talk food, because your nutrition is one of the biggest drivers of your energy. It literally is number one when it comes to your energy. Every single meal you eat sends a message to your hormones, your metabolism, your gut, and your nervous system. And when you build your meals right, everything improves. So here's the 4 elements of the Beyond the Body plate. This is what nutrition practitioners will teach their clients, but I like to call this my method because this is what I teach women to do. So protein, which is number 1, it is the anchor to your meals. It stabilizes your blood sugar. It's going to support muscle recovery, it fuels your metabolism, and provides the amino acids that your hormones need, okay? Most women feel drastically better aiming for around 25 to 40 grams of protein per meal. Everyone is going to be different in regards to their requirements based on the level of activity that you do, based on your current lean body mass, based on a lot of different factors. But if we can aim to start with at least 25 grams to 40 grams of protein per meal, or especially breakfast and starting the day, you're off to a really good start with improving your protein intake. I have loads of ideas on my blog. You can hit the link below, which I'll pop in the description of the show notes. But I have lots of different ideas on how you can improve your protein intake through different recipes and also some helpful blog posts. I also share recipes on my Instagram and TikTok, so you can check those out as well. But protein is the anchor to your meal. Think chicken, salmon, beef, Greek yogurt, tofu, those types of foods, eggs, lamb, fish, those are your proteins. And it is essential to have a source of protein with every meal and snack that you consume. The next thing you need to make sure that is on your plate is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are essential, full stop. And I see so many women freaking out around eating carbohydrates, or people on social media demonizing carbohydrates, which then creates fear around eating a potato. The amount of women that I have seen through my space, whether that be through online coaching or my in-person clinic, talking about how they don't eat potatoes anymore, or they're only eating sweet potato, or they've cut carbs out altogether. So when you do that, you've got to remember that carbs are your source of energy, your body's preferred source of energy first. Your brain, your thyroid, your menstrual cycle, and your nervous system all rely on carbohydrates. When you undereat carbs, your body will feel it. low mood, low energy, poor training, and irregular cycles. Now, some people thrive on a lower carb diet, and there could be many reasons as to why this is. But when we think about carbohydrates, we need to think of carbohydrates like vegetables and fruits and whole grains. We're not thinking about donuts, scones, croissants. We're not thinking about those kind of carbohydrates, because a carbohydrate can be anything from a lentil to a lollipop. A lollipop being the not so good carbohydrate we want to consume every day with every meal, and the lentil being the incredibly healthy, beneficial carbohydrate that is going to fuel your body with healthy carbohydrates for your gut health, for your energy, not to mention the extra protein you get from eating a lentil. So there is a massive difference between certain types of carbohydrates. They just all fit into that category, and because there are some carbs that aren't so great for our energy, the whole entire macronutrient has been demonized, and women are scared to eat carbs. But they are essential for optimal hormone health. They are essential for your energy, and they're going to give you the fuel that you need to get through a training session. My pre-workout snack is always either a banana with some almond butter, or it's 2 rice cakes with banana and a drizzle of honey. And honestly, I feel so energized and fueled to get through that session. I'm lifting heavier, I'm pushing myself through my session, versus if I go in fasted. Personally, I don't feel as good. So carbohydrates do have a place on your plate. They do have a place in your diet. It's important that you choose easy, nourishing carbs, like I mentioned, potatoes, quinoa, rice, sourdough, oats, fruits, different vegetables. These are the foods that your body can use optimally when it comes to carbohydrates. So they're not to be feared, but they're also not to be confused either. We're not going to compare a lentil and a lollipop, okay, because we're going to get so much nutrients from the lentil and maybe just a little sugar hit from the lollipop, okay? Then we move on to the next element of our plate, and that is healthy fats. Healthy fats are so important, okay? They are so important to stabilize blood sugar. They are so important to regulate hormones, support ovulation, and they also help you to absorb fat-soluble vitamins. If you've been afraid of fats, this is your permission slip to start eating more fats and including fats in your diet. Fats are important. I don't want you to choose the fat-free option because it's the lower calorie option. I would encourage you to choose the full fat version so that you're getting the benefits of eating that type of food that has good natural fats in it. So when I talk about fats, I'm thinking of things like avocado, nuts, seeds, olive oil, oily fish, salmon. These types of foods are your good, healthy fats that are going to support your energy. So when you're building a plate, you've got to have that protein, which is the anchor. You've got to have your carbohydrates for the energy, but then you need the fats to help with blood sugar management as well as your hormones and helping your body to absorb fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A and K. So these are your 3 key macronutrients that every meal needs to include. And then we want to talk about the fiber aspect. Now, fiber comes under carbohydrates, but again, if you look at a white bread bagel versus some potatoes, the fiber is going to be higher in the potatoes versus that plain kind of bagel. So it's understanding the types of carbohydrates that are high in fiber, because fiber is going to help you with optimal gut health. It's going to help you be more regular. Okay, pooing every day is very important. If you're only pooing once a week, you really need to get that sorted. Okay, I hear this all the time of women not pooing regular enough, and this to me is a sign of lack of hydration and not getting enough fiber. So your fiber matters, how much fiber you eat. I would encourage my clients to have a source of fiber with every meal, and this can be your vegetables, this could be your seeds, this could be the fruits that you eat, this could be the whole grains that you have. Fiber is for everything, okay? Your hormones, your skin, your mood, truly everything. We want a minimum as adults of 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day, and more importantly, diversity. So different plant foods, different colors, different textures. The more diverse your plants, the healthier your gut. I have a 30 plant points a week system that I like to encourage people to follow. Now, what this means is it means that you have 30 different varieties of plants in your week. So for example, on Monday, let's say you had a banana, an apple, you had some broccoli, some potato, you had some pumpkin, and then you had some beetroot. That is 6 different types of plants, and that counts as 6 plant points in the week. And then let's say the next day you had carrots, You had broccoli again. Well, we're still at 7 because we had broccoli yesterday. Then you had cauliflower, that's 8. And then you had some chia seeds, that's 9. And then you had some flax seeds, that's 10. That's already 10 plant points within 2 days. And across a 7-day period, we want to try and have 30 different plant points a week to ensure that we're getting enough diversity in our diet, which is optimal for our gut health. So remember, the more variety, the more diversity, the better for your gut health. So I talk about gut health and blood sugar and all these types of themes often because they all matter when it comes to optimal health and you thriving with full energy as a woman. All right, so we're going to move on to our next section, which is blood sugar balance. This is the secret to steady energy because it's a game changer. For some people that use glucose monitors to track their blood sugar and they change little things in their diet to help balance it, they notice massive changes in their energy altogether. Some people can have massive drops overnight, and it might mean that you need to have a boiled egg or a piece of cheese or something before you go to bed to help manage those blood sugar levels so that you wake up feeling more energized and less fatigued. When your blood sugar is unstable, you'll experience massive energy crashes, you'll experience cravings, irritability, PMS, anxiety, stubborn fat loss, and a lot of brain fog. So balancing your blood sugar is so important, and it doesn't require you dieting. It just means pairing your meals well. So using that balanced framework that I just mentioned, okay, when it comes to pairing your meals to help with blood sugar balance. So protein with carbohydrates is really important. If you're going to eat a carbohydrate on its own, it's going to work better in your body with protein, unless you're doing a workout. Okay, so if you're doing a workout and you eat those healthy carbohydrates, actually getting your muscles pumping is going to help your body to use those carbohydrates a lot more effectively. Okay, but if you're just eating a carbohydrate source on its own, like say for example, you have a piece of toast with jam in the morning, that is probably going to be blood sugar chaos. You're going to have this massive spike and then crash. Your energy comes down, your cravings increase, and your cravings will generally increase for sugar more than anything. So we want to pair protein with carbohydrates. We want to add fiber to every meal. We also want to make sure we're balancing our meals with healthy fats. And if we're having sweets or having a sweet treat, this is something we can have. We are not about restriction around here. Part of the Be on the Body method is to incorporate balance. I love chocolate myself. I love eating a dessert at a restaurant. I love going out and eating beautiful foods from beautiful restaurants cooked by incredible chefs. Like, I'm not going to say you can't enjoy life, but if we want to eat smartly and we want to make sure that we're managing our blood sugar and we have stable energy, we're better off to save our sweet treats for after a meal, because that's going to help with absorption. Your body's already had fiber and protein and carbohydrates and fats in that meal. So the chocolate that you eat, let's say after the meal, is not just going to go straight into your bloodstream and spike those blood sugars and cause those cravings and that crash. Okay, so if we save our sweets for after a meal, it's going to be better for us. We also, if we're going to eat a treat, and let's say it's been a couple hours before we've actually had our meal, let's try and have that treat with a side of protein and fiber. So for example, if you're craving some brownie that you've baked, have a little side of Greek yogurt and a couple of pieces of strawberries or some chopped apple to go with that brownie, so that A, you absorb it better, and B, you're less likely to crave 10 more pieces of that brownie. You're allowing your body to have the brownie, so you're honoring the craving, the soul food I call it. It's something that you're not saying, you're not allowed to have this, you're enjoying it, but you're supporting your body to enjoy that high sugar, delicious, yummy soul food with some protein and fiber as a tool to help you better absorb it and to avoid that afternoon crash or that crash that might come after having that sugary treat, okay? So blood sugar balance is a really important part of your overall health and wellbeing journey because of the things that I mentioned. Now, if you're having balanced meals and you're pairing your treats with fiber and protein and you're applying these little tools to your everyday life, you're going to improve your PMS, improve your mental health, improve your overall energy, and it's going to help you to manage your weight so much better because you're less likely to binge eat, you're less likely to go back for more, you're going to feel full, satisfied, and satiated, and this is going to help you stay on track with eating the right amount of food for your body rather than overeating or undereating and not having the energy to train. Okay, so it's really, really important. If we move on to gut health, which is the root of your hormones and energy, your gut is one of the most powerful parts of your body. It affects hormone metabolism, it affects inflammation, digestion, nutrient absorption, immunity, mood, energy production. Your gut is everything. It is like the energy driver of your entire body. Okay, and if your gut is struggling, everything else will feel off. If the microbes in your gut are the not so good microbes that are thriving, it probably means you're going to feel bloated, fatigued, your brain might not be feeling as good. And when I say that, I mean like your mental health might not be in the best place. You might be feeling more anxious, and your body's probably going to crave more of the not so good foods. Now, I'm not demonizing foods, but there are foods that we don't want to be eating all the time, right? Because as a part of having good nutrition and good health, we need to make sure we are getting enough nutrients to thrive. And if we're not getting enough good foods, our bad microbes are going to thrive more. And it means we crave them more. So we need to support our gut. We need to teach our body to enjoy the healthier foods more. The more we eat those healthier foods, the more you actually crave them, because you're feeding the good microbes in your gut that are craving the apples, craving the potatoes, craving the beef. I keep using potatoes today as an example. I think it's because I'm obsessed with potatoes at the moment. So supporting your gut looks like eating more plants, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, adding fermented foods, okay? Things like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir. Reducing stress is massive. If you're stressed, generally your digestion is off. Our gut needs calm, it needs mindfulness, it needs breath. If you're heavily breathing from your chest all the time, and you're running around and you're here and you're there and you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious and stressed, probably going to find that your digestion is off and your body is not digesting food as well as it could. So stress management is crucial for optimal gut health. We also need to prioritize getting enough sleep for recovery. Your digestive system recovers and repairs whilst you're sleeping. You need to make sure that you're giving it enough sleep to repair as it needs to. 7 to 9 hours sleep is optimal, okay? Nothing under 7 hours or you will feel it. Hydration is crucial for optimal gut health, especially if you're increasing your fiber intake. You need to make sure you're increasing your hydration too, and also avoiding too many ultra processed foods. So too much sugar is going to increase inflammation in our body and in our gut. So it's so important that we are using that balance framework that I explained at the very beginning to ensure that we're getting enough fiber, we're getting enough fuel to support our gut health as well. So gut health, if that is off, like I said, your brain is not going to thrive. You're not going to feel as good. You're going to be more anxious. You're probably going to start having little depressive moments, because when your gut is not thriving, your brain is not. The gut and brain are so connected, and we have so much research constantly emerging about the importance of gut health, especially in the last decade. And I, as a nutrition practitioner, am constantly reading and learning new things about gut health every single day, because there's always new research emerging. There's constant new microbes being discovered, and this information that I read and all the research that I'm understanding and interpreting is just indicating to me how important our gut health is for everything in our body. So if we want to have balanced hormones, if we want to have better weight management, if we want to have less bloating, we do need to make sure that we are implementing protocols that support our gut health. And that is going to be eating more plants. That is going to be increasing your fiber. That is going to be hydration, getting better sleep, managing your stress, all of the things that I mentioned. So you can see how all of these things link together. Blood sugar balance, gut health, everything goes back to that balanced plate method, okay? Now, the next thing we need to chat about is movement, because movement is incredibly important. And this is where, when it comes to movement, the Beyond the Body philosophy is that movement needs to become a part of your lifestyle. It needs to be something that you do all of the time, not just for an 8-week challenge or for a short burst of time. You might not be able to get into the gym or train at home, or however you choose to train, as many times per week as you do some weeks, and that's okay, life happens. But as long as we are consistent throughout the year, that's what matters most. You're better off to do 3 here, 4 here, 2 here, 1 here throughout the whole year as each week rolls by, versus just doing 8 weeks in a year altogether. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to be as consistent as we can. Strength training is essential. It is your number one priority. Strength training is not just for calorie burn. Okay, that's just a whatever bonus. but it is for hormone stability, it is for insulin sensitivity, bone density improvement, longevity, metabolism, mental health, and energy. There are so many reasons why you should be strength training. I don't know a single reason as to why you shouldn't be. And if you're unwell and you're not training at the moment and you've got aches and pains, movement is actually going to improve all of that. Energy creates energy. I recommend at least 3 strength sessions per week. 3 full body strength sessions would be incredible per week, because that is going to help you to build muscle. And then making sure that you are applying the progressive overload tool to your strength training to help you to build muscle. If you're doing the same weights, same reps every single session, it's going to be really hard for you to build muscle. You might maintain it a little bit, but you're probably not going to see results. We need to be encouraging women to build muscle, and then you probably will get to a set point. You need to maintain that by ensuring you still train hard. When you're training hard, you're training hard. When you're resting just as hard as you train, okay? So we need to remember that muscle is your metabolic engine. It's going to improve your metabolism. It means you can actually eat more. It means you can cope better with eating sugary carbs like that almond croissant treat that you have every now and again. It is your glucose sink muscle, okay, helping you to better absorb glucose. And it helps your body to use carbohydrates efficiently to keep your blood sugar stable. And alongside with strength training, we want to be doing daily walks, stretching, and mobility. Mobility is like so important for your flexibility and your joints. You need to be able to move your arm and get it above your head and rotate it around. You should be able to sit in a resting squat pose on the floor like you did as a kid. Doing the monkey bars and things like that are going to help improve your mobility. And if you want to be running around with your kids and playing with them every single day and jumping on the playground with them when they're on the playground, you need to be doing mobility just as much as you're prioritizing your nutrition and your strength training. But mobility needs to be every single day. It's so important, and it's generally the missed step of your movement routine. So mobility, it's so important for your joint health. I cannot stress it enough. Also getting outdoors more, spending time in nature, and getting at least 1 cardiovascular session per week for heart health and for mitochondrial energy. So the mitochondria is like the energy driver of your cells. You have so many cells in your body. We want that mitochondria, the energy driver, to be healthy and thriving, and cardiovascular exercise is going to help improve that. Now, when I talk about 1 cardiovascular exercise session that is formal a week, I'm talking about something where you are going hard out. You're in that high zone 4-5 and you are sprinting, or you are doing a high intensity interval training and you are going for your life. Really, really hardcore training in this 1 session per week, and that'll improve your VO2 max levels. I cannot stress enough how important cardiovascular work is. It doesn't need to be every day, but there needs to be 1 at least a week incorporated of some kind of high intensity cardiovascular work, okay? So I want you to remember that movement is medicine. If you have aches and pains, movement is going to help. If you're feeling fatigued, low in energy, movement is going to help. If you're feeling sluggish, you've got brain fog, movement is going to help. Movement is your medicine. It is your daily medicine that is going to help you get through anything. It builds inner resilience, and it builds a fitter, healthier you that can cope with so much more. You sleep better when you're exercising. So much in your body functions better when you move your body daily, okay? So once we've combated the movement, then we then need to move on to the nervous system regulation, because you cannot feel energized if your nervous system is constantly switched into fight or flight. A dysregulated nervous system affects your gut, your hormones, your sleep, your mood, your blood sugar, your recovery, your motivation. And this is why Beyond the Body includes nervous system care daily. So daily breath work, whether that's 2 or 3 minutes in the morning and the evening before you go to bed, breathing from your diaphragm. Slow intentional mornings every now and again, rather than rushing here, there, and everywhere. Nature, getting out in nature is going to be one of the best things to regulate your nervous system. Setting boundaries and saying no to people, even if you know, your old people pleasing self is like, oh, but I should, she really need, no. If it's not going to serve you in that moment, you've got to say no. Setting boundaries is the best thing you can do to help regulate your nervous system. Reducing your screen time. Too much time on social media is going to stress you out. Magnesium-rich foods or taking a magnesium supplement. Getting out in sunlight, especially first thing in the morning, and practicing grounding, whether that's bare feet in the grass, bare feet in the sand, going for a walk by the ocean, but getting yourself grounding. this is not woo-woo, okay? This is actual physiology. Your body thrives with a regulated nervous system. Then we need to move on to our cycle awareness. Now, cycle awareness is so important because your menstrual cycle is your vital sign, okay? Cycle syncing is not about strict rules that you need to do in every single cycle and change this and change that. It's about understanding your body's needs in each phase and responding with nourishment. When you fuel well, your cycle will become smoother. You'll have less PMS, better energy, more balanced moods, fewer cravings, and a more predictable, more often ovulation. So the goal of the Beyond the Body method is to support your biology so your cycle works with you and not against you. So how do we bring all of this together? So when we talk about improving our energy, combating fatigue, balancing our hormones, supporting fat loss, or just wanting to feel good within your body, the answer isn't just one thing. It's all of these foundations working together. It's having a balanced plate with protein, carbs, fats, and fiber to help balance your blood sugar level, to improve your gut health, adding in that strength training to build muscle, incorporating daily movement to feel good and to improve your body's overall health, to regulate your nervous system so you feel less stressed and all of these other things you need to do feel less overwhelming, and also having cycle awareness so that you're working with your body's energy rather than against it. This is the Beyond the Body way. This is the method. And when you start to support your body like this, everything shifts. Your energy stabilizes, your hormones regulate, your moods lift, your metabolism improves, and you feel grounded, nourished, and more like yourself. So if you're listening to this and you want some more support implementing this method that I've spoken about, there is a whole lot of resources available on my website free. However, if you want to dive deeper into this is exactly what my one-on-one coaching and courses do support you with. So whether you're struggling with low energy, inconsistent cycles, cravings, bloating, or you just want to feel stronger and more confident in your body, the Beyond the Body method can literally help you to transform your health. And you can book in a consult with me to chat first about what the better option for you might be. That might be exploring a personalized meal plan and program. It might be jumping on to one of my courses that is self-led to help you learn all of this and implement it. Or it might be that you need some VIP one-on-one coaching to work with me for a while to get yourself on track. So thank you again for listening. I really appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed this episode and it was helpful and it's given you some insight as to how you can improve your overall health. Thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed this episode, please do share it with someone else that could benefit from listening to this episode. Share it on your story, because if one person sees this, that's one extra person jumping on the Well Body podcast and learning to be a healthier woman who loves herself more. That is my purpose here. It's to help women be the best versions of themselves and feel incredible. So remember, your body works when you give it the foundations it needs. Please remember that. I appreciate you. Have the most incredible day, evening, morning, whenever it is that you're listening to this podcast. And I look forward to having you join me in the next episode.